Welcome back to Honest Homeschooling. We are going to talk about unit studies. So what are unit studies? Unit studies are where we take one big idea and we break down all the homeschool subjects into it. So math, language arts, history, science, all of it will be done with this big idea in mind. You might be interested in unit studies if you have multiple children of different grades. This is great for getting the whole family involved in one big unit study while tailoring for the different ages and the different levels that they're at. Maybe you want to try unit studies because you have really interested kids. They are super interested in some subjects or some ideas, and you can use those to your advantage to break down all of those classes and subjects that you need to teach. You may be interested in unit studies if you like simple. That's me. I super like simple. I like the idea of one big idea that we break down all these things into. In this video, we're going to talk about how to make unit studies, and I'm going to give you an example using a 3-part system that I think will help you easily implement unit studies into your homeschool if you're new to it or you're just needing some ideas. So let's go. If you are interested in unit studies or eclectic homeschooling, go ahead and subscribe because that is exactly what you're going to find on this channel. The first step in starting your unit study is finding the subject or the main idea. You can do this in 3 different ways. One way is just by looking at your kids' interests and asking them what they would like to learn about. If you have a kid that's super interested in something, unit study. Or if they just have like a question that they come to you with, Mom, why do I get brain freezes? And then you guys can study the human body at that point. Another way that you can create unit studies or get inspiration for unit studies is by the seasons and holidays. So like we're entering fall. Last year we did a Halloween unit study where we studied the history of Halloween, and my children had to do a research project on a folklore of Halloween. And so my sons did Jack of the Lantern and Vlad the Impaler, the inspiration behind Dracula. So you can use the seasons, you could do holidays. Those make great unit studies. And the last way that I use unit studies is by finding spine books. Now, what is a spine book? Let me show you. A spine book is just a book that is your resource for new information. So we went ahead and bought these books, Everything You Need to Know for Middle School. And so I just handed them to my sons, world history. And I was like, what are you interested in? So we just finished a unit study about cavemen. And then after that, I was like, well, what are y'all interested in? And I handed it back to them. And then they're like, okay, ancient Rome. And so that's what we started doing our unit study on. I think I have someone that wants to say hello.
Hello.
He's over here dancing and trying to distract me, so get him on camera. I consider these great spine books. I'm not an Amazon affiliate. This is just something that I legit like. But there are so many other spine books. So like any history book, what makes a good spine book is anything that has a ton of resources, is pretty broad. And then from those broad ideas, you can get other resources such as library books or the internet to supplement with those big ideas. But it kind of just gives you a map of what you can learn about. So that's what makes a really good spine book. And I really like these American histories and these world histories. Right now we're working out of our world history. So like I said, we're doing a ancient Rome unit study right now, and that's the example that I'm going to use to walk you through how to create a unit study. So first, find your inspiration. We did ours through a spine book. The second thing you need to do is gather supplies. Now, it can be so tempting to just go online and be like, I want to get all the books I can about ancient Rome, and you go on Amazon and you spend a paycheck. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you are budget friendly or budget conscious like me, go ahead and give this a like because it can get so expensive. It totally can, homeschooling. So what we need to do is use our library. Once you have your idea or your main idea, go to the library, just look it up and find as many books as you can about your subject at hand. Like I said, we're doing ancient Rome, and there are a lot of books at the library. Pick them all up if you want. We ended up getting just a few of these resource books because this is where they're going to find the information they need for all their projects that they're coming up with. And then we also go ahead and get a read aloud. I love to accompany unit studies with read alouds. It not only gives them all these activities that they can do during the day, but then when we're reading at night, it just solidifies a little bit more what we're talking about, and it makes it come alive. This is a fiction book, but the author tried to base everything around the time frame that we're thinking about. So it is such a more enriching experience to get that read aloud. Another way that you can gather supplies for your unit study is the internet. I'm not even playing. There's been so many other families that have probably done your unit study, and guess what? They blogged about it. So let's go check it out. So I legit just Googled ancient Rome unit studies, and this is all that comes up. So many resources. Oklahoma homeschool, the homeschool mom, homeschool giveaways. Let's see what they did. And they have so many ideas. They give ideas for read alouds on ancient Rome. Totally not the ones that we got, but that's okay. They have a ton of resources available to you, and they break it down like amazing. Thank you. Give you tons of ideas. You know, week 1, she breaks it down. Week 2, like if you want a recipe for good unit studies, just go find it online. Go find it online. There are so many examples available to you that you hardly have to do any work. But at the same time, if you don't like it, scratch it. If you don't want to do week 1, week 2 that someone else prescribed, don't do it. But this is just to give you inspiration and realize that you don't have to go about this alone. Don't reinvent the wheel if you don't want to. You can be a completely uncreative person and still create unit studies with the help of so many other homeschool parents that have done it before you. For instance, I am not a very good crafts person. I might come up here and find ancient Rome crafts and just start looking at what someone else did and be like, yeah, paper dolls, I got sons. We're gonna scratch that one, let's go back. Paper men of ancient Rome, probably not. But you don't have to take whatever they don't want. This might be cool, you know, we make a little headband with the ancient Roman guard get up. That might be fun. So whatever it is that you are looking into, check it out online because someone most likely has already done it and they did a great job. Now, if you didn't find what you were looking for throughout the other homeschool parents unit studies, that's okay. You can go ahead and create activities on your own using your materials. So like we could just open this up and we could just browse these books that we picked up from the library. So who were the Romans? Let's see. Oh, this is cool. You know, the way that different Romans dressed. Every day we could, if we wanted to, create like a toga party. But instead of just a toga party and we go get drunk, we have a toga party and we pretend we're a slave. Or the next day we act like a freed person. And the next day we act like a citizen. And the next day we are royalty. Oh, and that's just a fun way that we get to have these little activities. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my homeschool notebook where I just write down ideas. So I already have a few ideas for my ancient Rome unit study. One was build something in Minecraft like an aqueduct or a Colosseum. Another one was the Roman numerals for the mathematics. Another one is toga party, but like for fun, you know, toga party, but not in the Greek way, in the ancient Rome. Keep browsing for more ideas on just things that we can do. I went ahead and my sons already did a coloring page of what the Roman Empire at its peak was. So we did that. Maybe they could do a book report on Julius Caesar. We'll see. That doesn't ever sound like fun, but they do need a writing exercise. Oh, let me go ahead and talk about that. For our unit studies, I like to cover a broad spectrum of things. So math, for instance, our Roman numerals. History, ancient Rome is history, so that's not really hard. I like to also have a language arts activity. Every unit study that they have, I want them to have one big writing assignment. And I use the Common Core standards. I will link that video here. And so I'm going to just go through each language arts and writing assignment that they should be doing. And we are just going to check them off with our unit study. So for this one, we might compare and contrast a republic versus an empire for our writing assignment. So we do have a writing assignment. We do have a read aloud. They do have a project, and I try to incorporate some sort of science. And this one has been a little bit hard. I was thinking maybe the aqueducts. Also, you know, we've been reading about the Colosseum, and I don't want to build that. That would be kind of intimidating, but they can try in Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Yep, Minecraft. But we've been reading about all the wild animals that they killed. So maybe we'll take a trip to the zoo and be like, what do you think it would be like? It sounds so gruesome. For this animal, if it was thrown into the Colosseum with some guards, how it would attack people. So I like to hit those 6 things: math, history, language arts, read aloud, project, and then science. And so we could just keep browsing through other just fun activities that they could do. Like these dinner parties. Maybe we could throw a Roman dinner party where we dress up as the Roman, you know, elite, and then just have food and drink that was Roman inspired. We could find, you know, Google like ancient Roman meal planning. I'm sure that's a thing, and use that. And so a question you may ask yourself is, you know, how long should a unit study be? And as we saw some other homeschool parent, you know, they had weeks to this, and we're currently in our 2nd week. And my philosophy is whatever read aloud we're doing, I want it to be when we're done with the read aloud, we're done with the with the unit study. So we're getting close to being finished, and this might be our last week, and then we'll find a new unit study. But you can time it for however much you like. If your kids are really like not that interested in it as much as you thought it would, you can finish up what you're doing and get started on a new one. Or if they're really loving it, if you're really diving in deep into this, go ahead and keep going. That's the beauty of homeschooling, is that you have the freedom to do whatever you want. And if your kids are really enjoying what they are learning, keep that going, because that is how we want them to learn. We want them to love learning. We want them to dive in deep into what their interests are. That is the catalyst for successful learning. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What unit study might your kids be interested in, or what successful unit study have you already done? I look forward to seeing y'all again next week, and fist bump, we got this. Bye.